Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on another weekly ConnectSMART webinar. My name's Jen Coffey, and I work on our Pro Services team. We develop new content for the catalog, and we also work on custom solutions for our partners. Today's webinar topic is the ConnectSMART HTML gadget for our dashboards. This is a handy gadget that allows you to embed HTML content directly on your dashboard. This means you can embed pretty much anything that you can get into an iframe or into some sort of HTML frame. And the one gadget can serve many, many different purposes, which we will cover at some length here in just a moment. So just a quick overview of today's agenda. We are going to be discussing the HTML gadget webinar, when you might want to use it, what available reference materials and samples we have on our docs site, and also just a quick run through of how to actually deploy the gadget. So for today's webinar, you guys are logged into GoToWebinar, and you can use the control panel to ask questions, raise your hand, and share additional comments that you've got. And if you have any questions you want to ask to the organizer specifically, you can send us messages directly. Please don't be shy, so let us know if anything comes up throughout the webinar or if you have any follow-up questions. So I'm going to go ahead and move on here. So first things first, please keep in mind that the HTML gadget is not available within the main Gadget Editor. So when you first log in to ConnectSMART, if you go to the Gadget Editor under the Available Gadgets or Unpublished, you are not going to see an HTML gadget. You can use the ones that we've provided to you as templates as part of this webinar and on our docs site, or you can create new ones from within the Dashboard Editor by selecting one from the Other category. And there's a screenshot here that shows you where you could create a new one from the Other category. And here also just on the docs site for this webinar's page, you've got a link here with a zip folder of all the gadgets we're going to be covering today. So you can actually just grab the ones we made today and get going with those as well. Just a reminder, they are not available within the Gadget Creator. You are going to want to make sure that you create any new ones within the Dashboard Editor itself. So to get started, one thing I recommend that you guys do rather than starting from scratch, go ahead and grab the zip file of the sample HTML gadgets. You'll add them to your published folder and just review what's in the gadgets as is and see where different usernames, Twitter names, things like that can be swapped out, and you can just reuse the same ones that are already there. But it'll also give you an idea of what you need to do to create them from scratch. So I definitely recommend taking a look at the samples. It's going to make it a lot more clear what you need to do to create your own. So let's see. So part of why you would want to use this, the gadgets can be used to add, say, images, just for, say, a logo, or to add static content, some text, if you just want an announcement or some sort of quote. But you can also add real-time web content like traffic and weather alerts. So if you've got a dispatcher, you've got folks who are going on site to clients, traffic and weather is going to be more important to you than folks who are working primarily remotely in a call center type environment. You can use Twitter or RSS to publish announcements, keep on top of Microsoft security alerts, things like that. If you've got any other feeds that you're following, news feeds or anything else, you can certainly pop those into an RSS and get it right up there on the dashboards that you've got in front of your engineers all day, every day. Now, I'm going to jump out of this slideshow and show you how to actually do this, but I do want to touch on where you can find some of the reference materials that are available for you. So the webinar itself has a page dedicated to its content, the downloads that go with it, and the recording that of this presentation. This does go for all our webinars, so if you missed an earlier webinar, you can certainly access it in the same webinar gallery. And let's see, so also, here we go. And so today's content, you'll see the overview of the gadgets that we've covered. The zip file with the downloads are there, links to related content also included. The webinar recordings are all located in the webinar recording gallery, and you can drill down to get more detailed info. And some examples of what we're going to actually go ahead and create here in a moment. Some of the live content, you've got Facebook photo albums, you've got weather widgets, traffic, and here's just our ConnectSMART Twitter feed. So sky's kind of the limit there, whatever you think is most relevant for your dashboard users. And if you can pop it into an iframe, you can make it available. And some static content. So here we've got some quotes, some announcements. We've got just a logo popped in. And over here we've got some reference material that we make available to our engineers who are working for our sister company on our help desk. So this just gives them an update, not an update, but a reminder of the kind of things we expect them to look at on every ticket every time. And then a quick cheat sheet here for the statuses that are available for them and what that means and any emails they generate or any workflow associated with them. So I'm going to actually pop out of the slideshow. We're going to actually go to the Gadget Creator and to the Docs site, show you where you can access these gadgets and get them deployed on your dashboards very quickly. So I'm just going to pop out of here. So on our Docs site, you'll see that our webinar calendar is here, and underneath it we have the recordings, and you'll see the custom HTML gadgets are here. The recording has not been added yet, but you'll see the slideshow that you just watched is. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to go to our other HTML gadgets page, which I'll link over as one of the related items. And I'm going to download this folder of HTML gadgets, which I have here. I'm actually going to go ahead and copy these, and I'm going to put them in my published folder. I have the path in the slideshow if you need a reference, but that's generally going to be under the iNet pub, www root, ConnectSMART, archive, gadgets, published folder, which is where you'll find any of the gadgets that you've got published to your dashboards. In my case, I've gone ahead and emptied it out, so that's all that's in here right now. And I'm going to pop open my ConnectSMART Gadget Creator. And I'm going to go make a new dashboard, pull those HTML gadgets into it. So here's where I actually pulled some of those in, but I will show you how to do a new one. So here they are. They show as no category. And so here is just one Twitter feed. Oops, let's change the name. And you'll see when we save that, it saves out. This is just the ConnectSMART one. And the embedded YouTube video and a weather widget. I'm actually going to pop this guy over here since the Twitter feed goes a little better longer. And sometimes you're going to want to reload. The Twitter feeds can be a little finicky, and just a refresh generally gets them going. But that is how you will play with those. Some of these will give you more options in the iframe settings when you create the widgets like I'm about to show you. But these are the ones we've already prepared for you. And for today's examples, I'm going to show you how to create an RSS feed, embed a YouTube video, and add some static HTML content. So to do that, I am going to come down here. So first off, I'm going to do an RSS feed. And RSS Dog is one of the sample RSS feed creators. You can certainly find them through a quick Google search, but that's the one we'll be using today. And for today's example, I'm actually going to use the BBC Technology News RSS feed, which can easily be accessed from here. And I'm going to pop it in, hit make the code, and there we go. So you see, gives us an example output. Looks okay for me. You can certainly play around with the settings, but that is going to be outside the scope of today's webinar. But what I'm grabbing here, you're just going to want to grab the iframe, and you're going to turn around and pop that right into a new one. New HTML gadgets. So the way this works, you just paste that right in there and save that. And there it is. Simple as that. Now, if I wanted to change my settings on that, you saw that RSS dog here allows me to change my settings in terms of the max items. If I only wanted to show, say, 5, I wanted it to fit a little better. I can change my colors. I can do all of that. And then I would get the updated code and paste that in. So let's say I wanted to change the width to 450 and by 900, but otherwise keep everything the same. Just gonna edit that out, pop that in, and now it is longer or wider, but it's also a bit too long for us. So let's take that down to, say, 600. Get it to fit a little better. There we go. So that I could now fit a weather widget or some other item here. So one of the other ones we're going to do is a YouTube video, which is very, very simple. We're going to go to YouTube. Actually, let's do ConnectSMART YouTube. We are going to take a look at, let's get a newer one of our recent videos from one of the webinars. Here we go. We'll do custom gadgets and charts. So to share a YouTube or to embed a YouTube video, they make it very easy. I'll just go to Share, Embed, copy this guy, come right back over here, pop in a new one. Let's pause that so we don't listen to me talking in two places. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just paste that there. And interwebs magic takes care of the rest. Very, very simple. So it takes care of it for you. Now, depending on how comfortable you are with HTML, you can get as fancy as you would like. Just keep in mind that these are kind of a bonus, and our support desk is not going to be able to give you assistance with super custom things, although basic functionality of the gadget is supported, but getting them to display custom HTML content is definitely something that would be considered part of a pro services project, so outside the scope of our normal help desk support. And one other, so the other example I wanted to show is how you can pop in standard, how we can pop in standard content, and that would be HTML editor, Wysiwyg. And just any one of these should do. Whoops, not this. It's kind of a bad example. Pretty sure. Oops. So there we go. Here's one that I use. All right, so this Wysiwyg editor just allows you to enter whatever kind of content you'd like. So let's say we're going to do announcements for the team. We'll make it a bulleted list. We'll say reminder, open enrollment for health insurance, and August, let's say the end of the month, August 31st. Make your updated benefits selections ASAP. Pretty simple. And just grab that source. So here we don't need it in an iframe. We can actually just add a new gadget and it'll handle that for us. So see how your heading is here? So you're going to want to play with those heading styles so that it plays nicely with your motif. In this case, that particular heading, heading 2, is dark. So let's switch this to heading 1 and see how that looks on the dashboard. I'm going to delete this, paste my updated one, and there we go. So see how heading 1 shows up a little better. You're just going to play with that depending on the motifs that you're using. So that's just going to vary depending on the content you're including and the motif you're displaying it in. But as you can see here, this should give you an idea of how easy it is to just grab widgets and HTML content from all over the internet, pop it in, and see how it works on your dashboard. Are there any questions at this time that I can take or field for anybody? Or does this look like it is enough to get you going? All right, so I do not have any questions coming in at this time. So of course, if you think of anything after we go ahead and wrap up, feel free to send us an email at support@connectsmart.com and we'll do our best to give you a hand with that. And thank you so much for joining us today, and make sure you join us as we do these every week. And you can always get to the webinar calendar on the homepage of the Docs site or from our regular